and smell the roses at Kuhn Flowers.
This is Molly McDonald with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update. Brought to you by Southern Oak Insurance. The Gators kick off fall camp today down in the Swamp with exactly 1 month until their opening game against the Miami Hurricanes. Head coach Billy Napier met with the media yesterday and highlighted areas of where the team needs to improve before the season begins.
Execute our formula. We haven't quite done that in all parts of our team. We've got to attack the ball and own the ball. We've got to create more takeaways on defense. I think the turnover margin is critical. We need to play the situations better, right? There's situational football that we can improve at. We'd like to work hard to become situation experts. We need to go master our craft and continue to improve fundamentals and techniques. I do think having veteran players who've been in the system will help in that area.
It's 93 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Attention.
They are not ready for prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time. That's the name.
Prime time.
Prime time. What time is it? Showtime. Prime time.
It's XL Primetime. Featuring Joe C.
And then he couldn't fire his glutes later.
Matt Hayes.
His balls are different in person.
And Leon Searcy.
So they were smelling themselves.
Oh, my gosh.
With no deal.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
Steamy practice today. Yeah, it was hot out there, that's for sure. The offense looked much better yesterday. How much better did they look, or did the defense regain control? Lots of stuff coming out of Jaguars training camp, second day in pads. And, when I looked over going in to get ready to do an interview with Christian Braswell, I see Brian Baldinger of the NFL Network, and I see Trevor Lawrence sit down with him. That means the big time, so let's check in with him right now.
Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
I think there's a lot, all of Duval is what I always like to say, but I think there's a lot of Jacksonville Jaguar fans that love watching the Baldy breakdown whenever the Jaguars come up on his timeline or social channel. Welcome in, Baldy. How are you, man?
I'm good, guys. I was pretty fortunate. I wasn't out there in the soup the entire time. We were inside in the new indoor facility some. So I got spared the heat of the day outside of the last big 25-minute drill where they were trying to stay on the field as long as they could. But it was a good day all the way around for me.
Yeah, that's for sure. I'm sure both you and Searcy will talk about how the two-a-days were much different back then, but we'll save that for Searcy. But give us a thought just as far as what you think you've seen in the time that you've been in Duval as far as this team is concerned.
Well, I started off. I got out there early. I saw, Josh Allen out there, and he was the first one on the field just working on fundamentals. And, Trayvon came out, and, you're just looking around, and guys just working on the individual drills, the techniques that they're going to need in their toolbox to go battle, starting in September. And so I thought it was a solid day. Half-line drills. I saw guys blocking from the 4-point stance, Leon. I saw a lot of emphasis on the fundamentals of the game, especially up front where they had to get better than they were a year ago. Even with Trevor, just ball security, 2 hands on the ball. He can't afford to, put the ball on the ground as much as he has. And so just the fundamentals that help you win games. And I was talking to Doug for a while today, like before practice and after practice. But, that last loss to Tennessee, when they had the ball down the goal line, they couldn't score. That's the difference between winning the division and Houston winning the division, getting all this buzz that they get. And that's just how close it can be and sort of the emphasis that they're on right now.
Now, Brian, you said 4-point stands. That's old school right there, bro. All day.
I know.
That's schoolyard with football right there when the 4-point stands.
Yeah, no, you're right, Leon. And I haven't seen that in a while. Yeah. Hitting the Crowder, 4-point stance, let's explode. Let's get the hips opened up. Let's get down to the basics. I haven't seen that in probably, 5-10 years right now, Leon. So, and then half-line drills where they can really get more reps involved, whether it's front side or back side of certain plays. And so I thought, Doug's dusting some of these things off that we all grew up with.
Now, Brian, with your conversation with Trevor, did you get a sense that this is his redemption tour? Because I got a sense from last year they're a bit embarrassed by the way things transited down the stretch. And then when you have the owner and comes out and says that this last year was an organizational failure from top to bottom. I mean, so he's putting everybody on alert for what happened last year.
Well, I mean, I don't blame him. If I was the owner, that's how I would look at it too. That was a complete collapse, Leon, down the stretch. They had this division sewed up, and they gave it away all the way down to the final week of the season when they still had a chance to win it. So, I mean, everybody gets part of the blame. But, look, Trevor, the best part about contracts, honestly, and negotiations are when they're done. You sign on the dotted line. You can just forget about it. He's thankful, very thankful that they gave him the extension, that they have, decided that he's the guy going forward, all that stuff, which we kind of knew, but they got it done. He can just concentrate on football right now. He looks a lot more relaxed. Maybe that's part of it right now, Leon, but he looks more relaxed, more in charge than I've seen him since he's been in this business. I'm just sitting down and talking football with him or standing behind the offense to talk to him after a certain drill. He's very, very involved with Press Taylor and Mike McCoy and Doug and even the offensive line coach. So I think that's good. I think the more that he's involved, the more confidence he's going to have in not just a play call, but if he has to make a change, if he has to audible, and to have a guy of Mitch Morse's experience now snapping the ball, I think the whole operation can be a lot better than what we've seen it.
Hey, Brian, and to that point, we've been talking about this all season. He can be the talent that he is. He can do all the rare things that you see out of maybe a handful of quarterbacks in the league. But if they're not good on the offensive line, and specifically that middle three, that's going to be a problem for him this season, will it not?
Yes. And so I go around this league, and the first position I actually watch is the center. And what do they have? I mean, if you go to Kansas City, there's Creed Humphrey. He hasn't missed a snap in 3 years. The guy is just a bona fide stud. But if you have a weakness at center like Jacksonville has had, I don't care what you have at tackle and guard. It's not going to look strong. And so I think it starts from the inside out. They got to be better inside. They got to move. They got to get better movement. At the point, the running game was almost non-existent for long stretches of the season last year. It starts with getting movement. You can scheme certain things, and you can run some toss crack and get out on the edge a little bit. But, you've got to be able to get a yard and gain the yard when you need that yard. And they had trouble doing that last year. But they have to. It starts up front and certainly starts in the middle right there.
Now, Brian, I mean, I've been talking about the offensive line all of that last year and this year. But, with the new CBA, how can you simulate toughness? Now, back in our day, when we had issues with running the ball, we had inside run shoots, we had sled, we had drills that put us in situations where we had to be tough and had to be physical. Well, this new CBA, I mean, these guys have limited time to actually bang as much as we did back in the day.
No doubt, Leon. No doubt. It's a question that comes up everywhere you go. They all feel the same way. As a young player, I don't know how you're supposed to improve. I know this, though, Leon. I'm just talking to coaches and a lot of players that played old school like you did and we did, and kind of how we got to do things nowadays. The walkthroughs are way more important. We used to have a walkthrough, Leon. We went out there, we barely put our shoes on. It was just a day off. But I think like the walkthroughs right now, you've got to have the mental rep. You've got to take the right steps. You've got to take the right angles. You got to, you really got to lock in and take advantage of those little things like that. You can't lose a walkthrough. That starts that. And then every day, they've been in pads 2 days in a row. You got to maximize it. They're out 2.5 hours today. Like, you got to maximize your time in pads. And that means, look, if you want to get extra work after practice, and I didn't see a lot of guys doing it today, Leon, but get to work after practice. Pull, if you're Anton Harrison, pull Kayvon over there, or Trayvon over there, pull Josh over there. Like, get some extra reps. I mean, you got to find a way. If you want to be a great player, there's still a way to be a great player right now.
You're right. Limited time in pads, that's for sure. We're talking with Brian Baldinger. You can, of course, catch his training camp coverage, everything he does, a great job on NFL Network at Baldy NFL on social. Get to the other side, if you don't mind, because you mentioned the difficulty of getting a third down. They also had a difficulty stopping third down. What do you think of Ryan Nielsen?
Well, I think they had to make a change. I thought they were very predictable. I thought, just watching Trayvon Walker, drop into coverage, I think I think they'll become a more four-man front like they were in Atlanta. I think that you'll see more variety of blitzes. from Ryan, depending on, game situations and score and all that kind of stuff. But I think the big thing is let's get a four-man rotation going. Let's get 8 deep. Let's rotate these guys. Let's keep them fresh. But let's win up front. Let's win up front with the guys that we pay a lot of money to. 41 and 44. Let's make sure they're impacting the game as much as possible. Let's get some matchups right now. With when you look at Josh right now and what he's capable of doing, and you might see him inside this year against guards. Let's win some matchups up front, and let's get after the quarterback a little bit more than we did last year.
Brian, I love when you said there are still ways to be great in this game, and you're talking about the
Tennessee, they couldn't stop the run, and they couldn't run it without the run. I mean, those basics, they never go away. I mean, you can teams and all that stuff. The Rams weren't any good last year until Kyron Williams started running the ball, and they fixed their offensive line. And you can go around the league, and when you start running the ball really well, and you stop the run, and you get a lead, and you force these teams to be one-dimensional, you win a lot more football games that way. And a lot of those times, that's wearing down your opponent and winning it in the fourth quarter.
Now, Brian, what do you attribute the collapse last year for? A lot of people said youth. A lot of people said lack of leadership. I mean, I've never been in a situation where I was on the team where we were started out fast and didn't make the playoffs, or we started slow and made the playoffs. But I've never been in a situation where you'd be the number one seed and then totally collapse out of the playoffs.
Yeah, 8-3 to what they were, right, Leon? I mean, the loss of Christian Kirk is, I think we look at it now, we go, oh, they were really good when Kirk was in there, and he was scoring touchdowns and converting third downs and getting explosive plays, and he went out. They didn't really have an answer. There was a big void in the offense. Look, at some point, you got to be able to run the football. They couldn't do that last year. You saw Travis go backwards. Tank really didn't have an impact. I think that's a big part of it. The quarterback got hurt and turned the ball over too many times. You can look at all these different things. There's got to be you have to be able to overcome that stuff. You just do. There's good teams overcome it, back up, step up, and they didn't do that at a high enough level a year ago. And so, they had a cornerback here that was pretty good in the passing game. He didn't tackle worth a darn out there. And so teams attacked him at that position. And so I think they're a little bit better, and that's from that standpoint. And I think look, Mike was with Doug from the beginning here, Mike Caldwell. Mm-hmm. It was time to make a change. And I think they're going to be a lot more aggressive this year. I think they're going to attack a lot more. And I think that's how you have to play the game to win big games, especially when those games matter most in December.
Yeah, I think all of Duval loves hearing that. Listen, Baldy, we appreciate your time. Where are you off to next?
I am heading to Canton, Ohio.
Oh.
A little Hall of Fame ceremony and game on Thursday, and then I'll see the Giants and Buffalo, and I'll start seeing some scrimmages after that. So there's a lot more to see here before this training camp period ends.
Well, listen, we appreciate your time. At Baldy NFL on X, of course, catch him all over the National Football League Network. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you.
All right, for sure. Right. And when he sat down with Trevor, like he said, Trevor seems a little more comfortable. That's, I think, a huge positive. So let's kind of feed off of that, and we'll give our camp observations coming up here in just a second. It is XL Primetime. Golf Club of Southampton bringing you Wednesday's show. We wanted to get Baldy on just so you get a fresh take from the NFL Network. So we'll cover it all coming up on XL Primetime.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Not brought to you by
USAPark.net Airport Parking.
Westwood One Sports presents this special update on the 2024 Summer Games, sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Cars, homes, boats, motorcycles, RVs, and more at Progressive.com. Trinity Rodman scored in the 43rd minute to give the U.S. women's soccer team a 1-0 halftime lead over Australia. The Americans have already clinched their spot in the quarterfinals. Through 5 rotations of the men's gymnastics all-around final, Shinosuke Oka of Japan has the lead. Neither American is in medal contention at the moment, with Frederick Richard 12th and Paul Judas 16th. And there are 5 medals up for grabs in the pool today, with action getting underway in the next hour. Katie Ledecky is an overwhelming favorite for gold in the women's 1500 free, an event where Ledecky owns the 19 fastest times in event history and won her preliminary heat by almost 18 seconds. France's Leon Marchand will look to go double gold today in the men's 200 butterfly and the 200 breaststroke. With this Summer Games update, I'm Ryan Radke, Westwood One Sports.
You've got to watch your NFL team every Sunday, and Verizon's got you covered for all your team's out-of-market games every Sunday afternoon.
Come on!
From kickoff to sign-off, from first downs and touchdowns to turnovers and overturned plays.
After review, the pass was incomplete.
Nice! Let's go!
This season, win every Sunday with Verizon. Get a great deal on NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV and a new phone. Excludes digital-only games. Terms and embargoes apply. Watch your NFL team every Sunday, and Verizon's got you covered for all your team's out-of-market games every Sunday afternoon.
Come on!
From kickoff to sign-off, from first downs and touchdowns to turnovers and overturned plays.
After review, the pass was incomplete.
Nice! Let's go!
This season, win every Sunday with Verizon. Get a great deal on NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV and a new phone. Excludes digital-only games. Terms and embargoes apply.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes and summer's here on the First Coast. You know, long days, short sleeves, and soaring temperatures that can do a number on your AC. Look, if you've heard me say it once, you've heard it 1,000 times. Hope is not a plan. So do what I did and plan ahead with expert AC tune-ups from Fenwick Home Services to avoid those costly summer breakdowns. Fenwick has you covered with same-day service, including maintenance plans, free same-day estimates, and guaranteed repairs. Book your expert tune-up today and avoid costly breakdowns tomorrow. Plan ahead instead of hoping for the best. Online at FenwickHomeservices.com. That's FenwickHomeservices.com.
It's time to fire up your grill, shoot off some fireworks, and launch one of the biggest sales in the history of the United States. It's our independent sale happening right now at Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet. Whether you drive a car, a truck, or an EV, everyone is welcome to celebrate our independent sale with the lowest prices, largest inventory, and the most love for our country. Come celebrate with Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville. You don't want to miss this.
Hey, poker players. The Card Player Poker Tour is heading back to Best Bet Jacksonville from August 15th to the 26th. The tournament schedule is packed with exciting 9 events, including the $1,700 no-limit hold'em mystery bounty main event with a $300,000 guaranteed prize pool. Head to bestbetjacks.com for the full schedule and satellite information. That's bestbetjacks.com.
The best game day parking in all of Duval is at Tailgaters Parking. Are you ready for some football? Tailgaters is just steps away on the east side of the stadium. Visit tailgatorsparking.com and secure your season parking pass today.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Take strokes off your game by taking pounds off your frame with Awaken 180. Between increased flexibility, strength, and endurance, breaking 100 or 90 or even 80 could be just 40 pounds away. Get there this summer with the solution for weight loss. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Get recruiting tips and advice from area coaches, pros, athletes, and their parents. Plus better ways to train as B3 bettors Jerry and Sanders and A.D. Roberts host the Amateur's Edge Show. Saturday from 11 to noon on 1010XL.
There are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Pick it here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheaper discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
1010XL breaks down training camp all day. Listen for camp news with analysis and insight from the practice feed.
Everything counts!
1010XL's training camp coverage is brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing and Kingfish Pest Control.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about letting things roll off of your back. So often we can make big deals out of things that are not really big deals. We can allow them to steal the joy of our day. But let me remind you that don't allow anyone or anything to steal the joy of today. Go out today not letting little things steal the big things that God has in store for you.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
How long would it take to reach the moon from Earth at the speed of light?
Hurricane season is here. And now is the time to ask your agent about your homeowner's coverage. It's time to make the change to Southern Oak Insurance.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
It would take only 1 second. That's right, just 1 second to reach the moon at the speed of light, and only minutes to reach the sun.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Hi, I'm David Lane, your average everyday Joe. I'm 5 months out of my back surgery with Southeast Orthopedic, and I'm doing great. Thanks to Dr. Herford and his staff at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
David Garrard here. Playing in the NFL can put a lot of wear and tear on your body, especially your knees. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist has kept me mobile and ready to tackle every day.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hidden Hills Golf Club invites you to come out and experience one of the most beautiful and unique golf courses in North Florida. Affordable golf, friendly service, and great times in the Hills Grill after play. Book your tee time, hiddenhillsgc.com.
Former Jaguars corner and first-year head football coach at Duval Charter School at Bay Meadows, K-12, Aaron Beasley here. Are you looking for an A-rated K-12 school prioritizing academics, arts, and athletics? Duval Charter School at Bay Meadows offers a rigorous curriculum to develop strong minds with an additional focus on growing good hearts. DCSB has been an A school for 8 years, and our tuition is free. Now enrolling. Apply at baymeadowscharter.org.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
21 minutes after the 2 o'clock hour, it's XL Primetime, a golf club of Southampton. Wednesday, thanks for joining us. Joe C., Matt Hayes, Big Leon Searcy, RJ Saunders, and you can join the 9 after 5 crew tonight out at the Golf Club of Southampton. Game is always on, food afterwards, prizes, and definitely looking forward to, well, just kind of getting away. It's that hump day fun, okay? You got half your week complete, another half to go. Break it up. Come on out. Call 287-PLAY and get on the tee sheet at the Golf Club of Southampton. All right, so after what Baldinger said, talking about maybe a more relaxed, maybe more leadership look to Trevor Lawrence as far as leading this squad. Let's get into some observations, beginning with you, Serge, because you were watching a lot of those one-on-one drills.
Yeah.
Of course, we all watch team and everything like that. Just kind of take us through some of the things. We did the good, bad, ugly yesterday. We'll keep circling back to that, but just some obvious.
Some observations. Trevor's hot again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the first couple of days, we were concerned about his lackluster performance. A lot of overthrows, a lot of missed balls, whatever. But he's back on fire now. I think he was like, Skelly and maybe red zone. I mean, I think he was damn near 100%.
Yeah, he's solid.
Yeah, he was solid 100%. So, I mean, he seems to be back on track. There was an interesting thing Baldinger was talking about as far as Trevor being a lot more relaxed now and is comfortable in his leadership role. And, I mean, when you've got that contract hovering over your head, sometimes in the offseason, it can take a strain. It can take its toll on you. Mentally, physically, want to be a part of the organization. The money doesn't matter. You're going to get paid, but you want to just get it out the way, because you're at conflict with the organization, sort of say, what you want, what they think you're worth, and all that kind of stuff. So he's got all that behind him now. No more excuses. Let's get it done. Let's get back to some of our winning ways. As far as the bad, I don't want to say bad. I just want to say they're teetering now, considering how they play early on the defense. The defense gave up a lot of plays in the red zone in Skelly today. A lot of big plays. Christian Kirk had a lot of big plays. Brian Thomas had a lot of big plays. Tank Bisbee, all that kind of stuff. So I would say, I wouldn't want to say bad, but they're teetering on bad. Anything ugly? Only ugly thing that I saw today, unfortunately, it was in one-on-ones. Cam Robertson got ran over by Josh Hines Allen. Not run over, ran over. Okay. Listen, Josh Allen is an elite pass rusher. The only thing that disturbed me about the fact that he got ran over is that he took it. He didn't say, hey, man, hey, let's do it again. Let's get another rep. He just took it, went quietly in the back and took a knee. And I was like, what the hell is – listen, I wanted to go take a rep for him. So you just don't do that to old lineman, bro. I mean, that bothered me. I ain't going to lie. It bothered me. Cut me to the white meat.
I was standing right next to him. Believe me, he was not happy with that.
Oh, I believe it.
I mean, Leon literally like raised his voice and said, "No, you got to go back in there, man."
Yeah.
My good, and I hate to bring this up, man, because I just don't want to be the guy bringing this up. But Tank Bigsby looks really good.
I know he does.
He looks really good, man. He's got a burst. He hits that hole quickly. And the one thing that was really disturbed, he must have hit the ground 3 or 4 times today in practice. There was at least 5 or 6 different plays where guys hit the ground. Stop tackling guys.
Well,
Stop.
including him bouncing back up and coming after the defensive guy.
They got to stress that, man. Stop tackling people.
Okay, but it's funny. We go back. Remember we were talking about this. Would they hit? And I think you guys know they are hitting. They may not do it to the level.
Not the skill guys.
Yeah.
The offensive defensive lineman can thump, but stop bringing skill guys down to the ground.
Yeah, give them a little shoulder shiver.
Yeah, it's something, but not.
Yeah, not taking them to the ground or whatever. Because you're talking about knees and ankles and hips and all that.
Exactly. And they're supposed to pop them and release.
Yeah.
And then they'll mark the ball there. But does this also go back to and maybe an overzealous player saying, I got to do whatever it takes to make the team versus the other guy saying, we're putting good work
but
together.
Well, yeah, we used to call them All-Americans, and we used to call them Camp All-Americans. They were guys who were
excited guys.
Yeah, the excited guys. More than likely ain't gonna make the team. You need to exert all that energy when the preseason hits.
Right.
Now they'll go crazy in the game, during practice, and they thump their guys or whatever. Then preseason game, they Casper.
Yeah.
Don't see them.
Right.
All right. So we used to call them Camp All-Americans.
Yeah, so
I love it.
Back to the good.
Yeah.
It's funny because a couple of days ago I was standing next to Taylor Dahl and I said, Tank Bigsby when he was in college was considered a big back.
Mm-hmm.
He's smaller than ETN.
Well, he's lean.
But I'll tell you what, he's got a burst, man, and he's got that wiggle. I'm telling you, and this is kind of what I go back to is they've got to start running the ball. Mm-hmm. They were 60% pass, 40% run last year. You look at the 4 teams in the Final Four last year, and I'm not going to count the Chiefs because the Chiefs are an anomaly, and they still had a good average yards per carry of 4.3. The Ravens averaged 4.9 yards per carry. The Niners averaged 4.8, and the Lions averaged 4.6. The Jags averaged 3.6 last year.
You can't do that.
That's
really can't.
That's insanity is what it is, 3 points. So you are not winning games at 3.6, especially games in the fourth quarter.
I totally agree. But here's a question I want to ask you. So if you're the offensive coordinator and you run a play, no yards, you run a play again, -2 yards, you run a play again, 1 yard. After a while, running the ball does not seem a favorable option if the offensive line is not giving you the adequate yards that you're looking for. So
I don't disagree with you.
The frustration has to be on the OC at some point.
Why do you think you flipped when they were 4 wide on 4th and 1?
Exactly.
Bro, my bad's coming up, okay?
Yeah.
That's number 1. Number 2, it's also, I'm going to push back just a little bit. You're an NFL player. I agree with what you're saying. All I'm saying is there's a chance to get around that, and you would agree with this, I'm sure, in the sequencing of the plays. Like, you can kind of trick your way into getting a yard here or there if you have to get it, just by the way you call plays and by the way they're sequenced, right? You would agree with that.
Yeah, but why should you have
to? You shouldn't have to. I agree.
Exactly,
I agree. Yeah. So that leads me to my bad. And the middle 3 are just not that good, man. They're just not.
Yeah. Well,
Searcy and I were watching them. We're just kind of like, that's going to be a problem.
Well,
it's going to be a problem.
I like what Baldy said about the experience of a Mitch Morse and how it will, I believe, this is what I believe, that it will lend itself when it's all said and done. Now, the Buffalo Bills were not the most dynamic run team either. They threw the ball a ton. Let's not forget that. That's one team that was toe-to-toe with Kansas City, but was never really known for their ferocious run game. They committed to the run more this year than they have in years past. That's for sure. And so I think we just got to see how these three guys
So
come
here's my question to you, okay?
All right, here you go.
Essentially the same line in 2022. I mean, Juwan wasn't there, but he's a tackle. Mm-hmm. Essentially the same middle 3, correct?
Mm-hmm.
They averaged 4.7 yards a carry in 2022.
Yeah.
How do you drop a full yard? Has Sheriff, has have his abilities dropped that much?
Well, apparently, yeah, they have. I mean, they have. Here's
yet you don't draft a guard.
Yeah, you don't draft a guard. You need to draft.
He worked it back to the guard.
Yeah, of course he did. He did.
No, but my point is, how do you go from averaging 4.7 one season to 3.6 the next year?
Well, let me ask you a question. Who was the left guard? I mean, because Sheriff was
it was Shatley, and it was
Shatley.
Who was the other? He was playing for somebody by the end of the season. Who was the starting left guard?
I'm just trying to remember.
I'm drawing a blank right now.
I'm just trying to. In 2022, who was the starting left guard? Because we know it was Sheriff.
Somebody's gonna say
we know it was
Shatley
Fortner.
Started it a bunch.
It might have been
Remember,
Shatley.
it was Brian Barch, Ben Barch.
Barch, that's who it was. He started, then Shatley, right?
Yeah, then Shatley.
And then Barch got dealt.
Yeah, he got dealt. And then Shatley.
Got hurt, then Shatley.
So Shatley, I don't know why Shatley's not your best alternative right now. I mean, history speaks for itself.
RJ, pull up Brandon Sheriff real quick, and then we'll hit the break. But Hacker was talking with Brandon Sheriff, and you can get the full interview by going to our on-demand section. But he was talking about adding Morse, and he needs to have his best year. Brandon Sheriff does in a Jaguars uniform because he is way too costly. Here he is.
Yeah, it's doing good. You know, anytime you get somebody new, it's all about, you know, bringing them in and figuring them out as well too, and building that relationship with them. You know, Mitch and I we've been in the same draft class. So I've known Mitch for 10 years. He's a heck of a football player. You know, I think he said he's made every playoff. So that just speaks to something. You know, that's his leadership as well, and you know, he's been there. So it's nice to bring people in like that have tasted that. So he's a fun one to play with, and you know, it's nice we got somebody else my age right by me right there. And as far as the defense, you know, they're hooting and hollering, they're running around, they're having fun. So it's going to be nice to actually go out and hit somebody else for once too.
You notice he said is happy to see somebody else my age.
Mm-hmm.
So that, you know, that lets me know that at some particular point during the season when they struggled down the stretch, he had conversations about Fortner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, well, we're not getting it done.
We're not getting it done. This guy's not getting it done.
Let's also be realistic. I mean, Mitch Morse has had injury problems.
Yeah, he has.
More than likely, Fortner's going to be playing for you at some point this year.
Let's hope not.
But Fortner
did you see him on one-on-ones?
I did. That's kind of my point.
Did you see him on one-on-ones?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Please, no.
I was right next to you, bro, when you were going, what in the world?
I know. That's what I'm saying.
All right, let's keep it going.
All right, my ugly is just what I said earlier. Stop bringing guys to the ground. Seriously.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to get hurt, and it's going to be a big issue.
All right, I'll throw my GBU at you coming up in just a second. Also, Dr. George Barry will be heading into the house. It's XL Primetime Golf Club of Southampton bringing you today's show. Not only you got the 9 after 5 tonight, you can go out and play and enjoy a great round. Got buddies going out on Friday enjoying themselves out there. And then also Thursday night trivia, Friday night music on the patio with that great menu setup that they will have for you. So make sure if you just want to relax at the Golf Club of Southampton after the sun goes down, you can do it Friday nights.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL.
Did you know you can charge the all-new Honda Electric Prologue in the same receptacle as your phone? You don't need these special charging stations at your home. Simply plug in your Honda or your phone. See your local Honda dealer now. We're electrified.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Instant Keys saves the day if you have lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call 722-1111.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Hey, it's Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. If you're like me, you're getting crushed by rising costs of everything these days. I get it. It's brutal, and credit card rates are ridiculous and going higher. That's why at Loan Pronto, we launched our Express Equity Line of Credit to bring you the relief you and your family need, using your home, your most valuable asset. We've helped thousands of people like you get fast relief with cash. The average homeowner who does this gets tens of thousands in just days and is able to save $850 per month in overall expenses. I'm talking life-changing money. Your money that you have access to right now. Listen, if you're ready to get control of your finances and get off the hamster wheel, call Loan Pronto. You can get approved for Express Equity Line of Credit in just minutes, and we can get your cash in less than a week. Stop digging a deeper credit card hole today. Call Loan Pronto now. 904-999-1508. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com. 904-999-1508.
Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org.
This is Hayes Carline here to help you break free from the chains of pest infestation. The talk of this town is Kingfish Pest Control. By now, many of your neighbors have already joined the Kingfish Revolution, leaving their homes and lawns protected and pest-free. Now it's your turn. Call Kingfish Pest Control and say goodbye to termites, ants, mosquitoes, and other annoying pests. Trust me, you'll get exceptional service and understand why your neighbors and I use Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jaguars.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's challenger, a paint color namer from Jacksonville, Florida. Meet Irving Stapler.
Hi, Howie.
So the next round is word association. I'll say a word and you give me the first word you think of. Engagement ring.
Jeweler.
Gas station.
Fueler.
Aaron Burr.
Dueler.
Air conditioning.
Wow. Jeez. It's a toughie.
Come on, Irv. The sponsor's going to kill me now.
Oh, Bueller.
That's right, Irv. If your AC is struggling through the summer heat, the first name you should think of for fast, friendly, 5-star service is Bueller Air and Plumbing. The name to know to make sure you are cool.
Have a beer, Irv.
Cooler.
Stay cooler with Bueller. Visit BuellerAir.com.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On July 31st, 2012, American swimmer Michael Phelps becomes the most decorated athlete in Olympic history after winning the 4x200 meter freestyle relay race at the 2012 London Games.
Hicken here for Bout 9 Associates, where you'll find Jacksonville's most esteemed eye doctors at each of their locations. After being selected for one of the most competitive ophthalmology fellowships in the world, Dr. Frank Bowden is frequently called upon for his expert opinion. He is currently one of the few cornea and external disease specialists in the area and the founder of Bout 9. Visit Bout 9 Associates today and experience the difference. Bout 9 Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and it is hot out there. You know that, Greg, but Honda has a plan for you on or off the road.
They do. There's a ton of Honda scooters, Honda mini motos, great for the beach. Also get you out in the woods with a Honda side-by-side. Plenty to do and stay cool.
Yeah, four-wheelers, and you can trick them out.
We can. From stereo systems to big builds, we do it all.
Everything's there for you to see. CyclesofJacksonville.com online or on Atlantic near Regency. Check out Cycles of Jacksonville.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Running back Travis Etienne spoke to the media this morning to share his thoughts on second-year running back Tank Bigsby.
I feel like he really learned, and I could just tell just the way that he's been approaching the game, and I feel like Coach Mack has been helping him a lot, just getting his IQ so much more further along. You can see it in his play. He's been making a lot of plays out there on the field for us. The way he's been reading, just the way he's been hitting the hole, just him catching the ball, looking the ball in. I feel like it's night and day from where he was last year.
While Bigsby struggled during his rookie season in his role as a backup with turning the ball over and adjusting to the NFL's pace, he's hopefully going to contribute more this season. As Bigsby gets more comfortable as he matures, the Jags offense hopes him and Etienne can turn the backfield into a two-headed monster. I'm Max Fink with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Specialist Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
About to talk sports injuries with Dr. George Bari. We are hanging out on a Wednesday afternoon. Golf Club South End to bring you today's show. So we threw out some good, bad, and ugly from Big Surge, from Maddie. I want to throw a couple of them out. And then you guys, if you were at practice today, anything you saw, 641-1010, you can hit the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. I think one good that's really jumping for me is that to kind of marry up what you said earlier, Leon, is that ball, and both you guys, that ball that Trevor's throwing in red zone is hitting its spot. And Gabe Davis is now starting to shine. He and team had a big play coming across the middle. The one thing I really want to find out is whether or not this team can protect in real game situations and Trevor can use the middle of the field. Because if he can, then that type of thing, because that's that yak yard that Gabe Davis was responsible for. Bro, he made a big play. Those types of things need to happen more and more often.
If they can protect, they'll score points. There's no doubt about it. I mean, it sounds dumb, but it's the reality situation. They have the talent on the outside. They've got the quarterback that can make every throw. If they can protect, they're going to score.
Yeah, that throw to Gabe Davis between those two defenders was a laser, bro.
Yeah.
A laser.
It was beautiful. And Ronald Darby's had a good camp so far, but just a little bit, kind of just a little sag there. So I'm going to put that in the bad, line item, is that Ronald Darby needs to be strong opposite Tyson Campbell. And they're experimenting with a lot of other guys. Christian Braswell, who I talked to and we'll hear from later on today or tomorrow. And then also all the other guys that they're working in there. But he needs to be a really consistent defensive piece opposite Tyson Campbell. I don't think there's any way to get away from that. Those are the guys that absolutely have to come up and make sure that they make
Especially
plays.
considering Tyson Campbell really is coming off a season. He missed 8 games, and he was kind of up and down even when he was healthy.
Right. Even though it's a deep room, one thing is pretty obvious. There's only one superstar in that room.
Well, there's only one solid corner. I wouldn't say he's a superstar.
You're right.
Yet.
I wouldn't even say superstar. Yeah. You're right. I'll objection sustained on that one because I agree. I can't overrule you on that one. He just got paid like a superstar, but he needs to stay healthy and be one. Speaking of superstars,
Our next guest is not affiliated with the NFL or Jacksonville Jaguars.
Discussion of injuries is solely based on opinion.
Now, the Bari Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Injury Breakdown.
I'm coming in hot.
Let's welcome him in. He's suited up, scrubbed up, ready to go. Gio, Dr. George Bari, coming in from, can I say you're coming in from the surgical room? Something like that?
No, from the clinic.
Okay, from clinic. All right. Either way, you've been trying to treat patients and handle and help and do everything you possibly can. Dr. George Bari, fellowship trained under the renowned Dr. James Andrews. If you've got a sports injury question, you can hit us with it, 641-1010. Gio, we've got a few football ones to throw at you. But honestly, I've got to ask you first, and we were talking about this earlier. Have you ever broken your nose?
Yes.
How painful?
3 times.
3 times?
Yes.
3 times?
Yes. But it's not as painful as...
Oh, my gosh.
Wait, let's go back to the 3 times. How?
What were you, like
basketball.
A martial arts?
Basketball each time?
In high school. Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yep.
What were you, like a point guard?
I don't know. What
2 guard?
2.
Really?
But I got elbowed in the face every single time.
Oh, yeah.
Well, one was right after I fixed it the first time. It was like right when I started back again, I got elbowed right in the face and broke it.
I had no idea you could shoot. Perimeter guy, huh?
Yeah.
Every time, hey, listen, every time he tried to go in the paint, he paid for it.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so the reason we bring it up is because James McCann, we're talking about one tough cat, took a 95-mile-an-hour fastball to the face and ultimately got knocked to the ground, fell down, basically picked himself up, dusted himself off, and stayed in the batter's box and then stayed in the game. This was after bleeding all over the place.
Dude, that was terrible. That was
hard to see.
That was really bad. He could have died. I mean, they could have smashed his whole face in.
All right, so just take us through it because this is a fastball. It looked to me like, Gio, it comes off of his cheekbone and then blows
he blew out his nose. His nose was asking a question. I mean, there was a question mark.
His nose was all messed up.
Yeah. And, that was... If that's the worst thing he has, he's lucky because he turned his face, so it probably just hit his nose.
Yeah.
But that was very close to disaster.
You're talking about like a 34-year-old dude that's been in the bigs and up in Baltimore, he will not have to buy a beer. I wouldn't think.
Gio, if that thing hits him straight on, like you said, he probably the ball's coming, he turned the last second, and it grazed him on the left side. Grazed, but it hit him on the left side. If that thing hits him straight on,
I can only imagine.
What could I don't know. I mean, are we talking like orbital damage?
Yeah, I mean blown out orbital fractures, maybe a skull. Maybe a skull fracture hits you right there. I mean, I'm sure one of your eyes gonna get blown out. I mean, there's gonna be a lot. I mean,
there's a lot getting blown out. Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
I mean, that could affect teeth, everything, right?
Oh, yeah,
Jaws, everything.
That was not good.
Wow,
he's very lucky.
So far in the Jaguars camp, we haven't had too many guys go down, and they got into a little bit of a dust up today. Tank Bigsby got hit hard; he didn't like it, but we haven't seen too many injuries. But now we got a couple of guys: Sam Williams, Cowboy defensive end, torn ACL, and I can't even. I'm not sure, Matt, if we saw this in practice. I don't recall seeing it, how it happened.
It was in practice.
Yeah, it was in practice.
It was contact too.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So torn ACL for him, and then you've got
individual drill contact.
Yeah, and then you've got a couple of other guys that have had to deal with coming back from injury as well. So you got an Achilles for one injury for one of the players, and then you got the ACL. And I'm telling you what, man, it's the worst damn thing.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks, right? I mean, the season has just started, preseason or whatever you want to call it, just started. And then these injuries. Was it the Achilles rupture?
Let's see here. John Kaminsky, he's the defensive end, out indefinitely. Oh, actually, that's the torn MCL.
But either way,
So let me ask you this question while Joe's looking, okay?
Yeah.
This is kind of relevant to everyone playing high school, even football, even high school kids. As you're in a training camp with high school kids, it's, whatever they call it, fall camp, okay? And you're working these hours in the heat, day after day. You're going back to backs, obviously. Can that stress muscles and ligaments and tendons to the point where they're more susceptible to injury? I guess is the best way to put it.
What it can do is get you fatigued, so then your form is not good. So when you jump and land, or when you go to do a cut, or you're falling, you're not catching yourself normally, right? Your muscles aren't reacting the same, and that can make you more prone to injury.
All right, so it's more about you, not saying you're not in shape, but the more tired you get.
The more fatigued you are, the more injury you have, because nothing is, it's not running, you're not going at full spec. So it's not going to make your ligament any different, right?
Okay.
Itself. The ligament is there. It's not going to make that any different.
The heat doesn't do anything like that.
No, but what it will do is fatigue you, so your muscles aren't reacting the same way like they normally do, and then you can be more prone to injury. I mean, or the other option is the other thing is, which I'm a big believer of, if you tore your ACL, you're probably going to tear it at some point, right? It's one of those things that was just going to happen to you.
That was kind of where I was going with this thing. Like
Right.
you can talk about the heat and everything, but if it's going to happen, it's going to happen.
Right.
Yeah, and it could be just bad luck, not stretching, who knows, whatever. Colts defensive end is the other guy I was thinking about. Samson Abukum, he's going to be gone for the entire 24 with a ruptured Achilles. And then you got the other guy, defensive end John Kaminsky, out indefinitely with a torn MCL. Now, this is kind of interesting. This is the Lions. They got a decent defensive front, that's for sure. But according to Mike Garafolo, the guys from NFL Network, torn MCL and set to have surgery. The belief he's out 5 to 6 months.
He's
and
doing
that
it.
seems like
that's the season.
Like you have told us, Gio, MCLs don't always require surgery.
Correct. MCLs a lot of times do not require surgery. I've definitely seen more MCL grade 2, grade 3 that don't require it. They don't always require it. His must have been very bad for them just to go on and straight and just do the surgery. It must have been ripped off and retracted, or it's not even near its insertion anymore to scar. And they don't always require it. But at this point, if they just did it now, right off the bat, then it must have been retracted and in a pretty bad tear.
So they said 5 to 6 months. Why wouldn't they just say for the season? Because 5 to 6 months is the season. Is that something where it could be, you could get back earlier?
So August, October, November. I mean,
that's through December.
Yeah, they're thinking playoffs.
That gives you January, February,
I guess,
in theory,
yeah.
right?
I guess, yeah.
That's honestly what they're thinking.
That's true.
Is that if it does play out, the Lions were in the NFC Championship game, so you might as well at least hold out hope.
Gio, I got a question for you. So
Yes.
I was watching NFL Network, and Steve Smith, former Panthers great receiver, said when he blew out his Achilles, he did it in 2 different places. It pulled away from the bottom, the bone.
Yeah.
And it also split in the middle. Have you ever heard of that?
Sounds like what he's saying. He ripped off the bone, and then whatever tendon was left just kind of. I mean, not an Achilles. I haven't seen it. I'll tell you, patellar tendons when they tear, they look like pulled pork. It's just like shredded, right? There's nothing. There's really.
Sometimes it makes me hungry with that. But
Achilles, usually there's a nice little rupture. But I have not seen an Achilles. But you can definitely listen. When you rip a tendon, it can definitely look shredded, right? Mm-hmm. Like when you made those country pork and took those bear claws to it.
Got it. But so I guess my point is, and now that you've made me physically ill with that visual, if something like that happens where you're torn from the bone and in the middle,
yeah.
Like, what do you do at that point? Do you try and get a whole brand new tendon?
Yeah, no. You'll probably stitch that split tear to make it together, and then after you repair that split, then take the ends and connect it to the bone.
All right, so you wouldn't take a tendon from somewhere else in the body. And
you can't do that for the Achilles. You can't replace the Achilles. Like an ACL, you replace it. Achilles, you cannot. All you can do for an Achilles is augment it. So you can add a graft to it if the tissue is bad and you want to bulk it up.
Right.
You can also take the tendon, that the FHL, which brings your toe down.
Right.
You could take that tendon and insert it into to assist the Achilles for some strength. So there's a couple of things you can do, but you cannot replace it.
So no pig Achilles or shark Achilles, nothing like that.
No.
All right, one more real quick that I got to throw at you because it was a great story. Jonathan Vegas on the PGA Tour wins after nearly a 7-year winless drought. It was like 6 years, 363 days or whatever. Anyway, he missed nearly all of 22-23, elbow and shoulder injuries. Now, the doctor told him that he would never fully heal after a piece of bone in his elbow broke off and lodged in his elbow joint. They removed the bone. He started to play again. Then he had shoulder issues, and they basically said that the elbow injury had caused inflammation to travel up his arm. Anyway, it's a good story for the Venezuelan to win again.
Yeah. I read, you showed it to me, and it said that the inflammation traveled up his arm like it crawled up there. Obviously, his shoulder got inflamed because his elbow wasn't working right, so his shoulder was kind of making up for the slack, and it kind of made that inflamed. But yeah, it's a great story. Looks like he had a little bone chip in the joint they talked about. So you can either open it or do it arthroscopic, and they went in there and they removed it.
Right.
And then he regained his full range of motion. Then he had that shoulder issue.
Yeah, it's just awesome to see that guy come back from that. By the way, cashed nearly 1.5 for that win. And you're going to cash this afternoon because we got to turn you loose, man. All right, Dr. George Barry, we got Breaking Bones Sunday morning at 7:30. If you have a sports injury question, you can hit it right now, 641-1010. We'll try and get it on the show if they want to check out our podcast.
Apple, Google, Spotify, 1010XL.
All right, make sure you check it out. That is Dr. George Barry. We'll make sure we get a couple of these on the Bones Show, so definitely tune in or check out the podcast. We're going to say hello to Gary Danielson coming up at the top of the hour, talk some college football, but keep it going with your Jaguar thoughts as well, right here on the Golf Club of Southampton Wednesday.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Here's another classic Florida Gator moment.
Snap is perfect. Tebow uses that 6'3" frame to struggle for the first down.
I'm like, wow, this is pretty friggin' fun. Tim Tebow jumps up and sings first down.
1010XL, home of the Florida Gators. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Mia here, and we've all been there before. A weekend trip to the casino? Canceled because real life came calling. MyBookie's new and improved online casino is here to change the game. Dive into a truly realistic casino experience featuring the latest in slots, progressive jackpots, and live dealer action, all from the comfort of your own home. The live casino is so easy to use. Just go to MyBookie and click Live Casino at the top. You'll find live dealers ready to deal or spin just like you're at the casino. The MyBookie Casino provides a Las Vegas experience when the action's in the palm of your hands and you don't even need to wear pants. Start at MyBookie today with a generous sign-up bonus using promo code 1010XL. A revamped loyalty program ensures a host of exclusive VIP perks. Sign up and hit the casino with promo code 1010XL. The more you play, the more you win, only with MyBookie.
Daytona always brings the drama.
Everything's on the line. The risk will be higher.
3 wide.
Look how insane this is.
Gunning to keep playoff hopes alive. It's now or never.
It's the most stressful night of racing that you'll ever go through.
For an unforgettable weekend of family fun, high wattage star power, and a front row seat full of fireworks. NASCAR weekend at Daytona International Speedway, August 23rd and 24th. Get your tickets now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
The 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris feature incredible athletes and is the third time the Olympics will be held in Paris. If you're planning to attend, USAPark.net Airport Parking salutes your support of our American athletes. So no matter where you're going, whether you're traveling to the Olympics to support our athletes or just visiting Grandma, remember to park at USAPark.net.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey ham, melted cheddar and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Reggie Hunt Memorial Golf Classic fundraiser golf tournament is Friday, October 25th at Amelia River Golf Club. All proceeds support Big Brothers Big Sisters. Register at the Big Brothers Big Sisters events page.
Duck Duck Rooter is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we are looking for top talent to join our team. If you are a plumber, CDL driver, or have experience installing septic drain fields, come join Duck Duck Rooter and let's win together. We offer our players a full package that includes excellent weekly pay, paid holidays, health insurance, and new state-of-the-art equipment. Log on to DuckDuckRooter.com and click on the careers page to apply. That's DuckDuckRooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter is an equal opportunity employer.
You don't have to be a football star to get a signing bonus. The team at Republic Services needs your skills, and they're paying up to $5,000 for you to join the roster. You'll be joining a winner. As an essential business, the Republic Services trucks have not stopped rolling with hourly and weekly pay and better benefits and vacation packages than the rest of the league. Driver trainees, $1,000 sign-on bonus. CDL drivers, $3,000. Diesel mechanics, $5,000 bonus. Join the winning team at Republic Services today. Visit republicservices.com.
Equal opportunity employer.
Is your roof ready to weather the storm? Don't take chances with your home safety. Schedule a free roof inspection with the experts at Universal Roof and Contracting. Get peace of mind knowing your home is protected from the elements. Save up to $1,250 on your roof replacement, plus flexible financing up to 15 years. Offer expires July 31st. Call 855-ROOF-HELP or click universalroof.com.
License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes Summers here, so let's talk about something sizzling, making a Bacon 180 with a Waken 180. Imagine dropping pounds while still enjoying that crisp, savory goodness. Well, it's on the menu at Awaken 180, and one of the many reasons I lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks on Awaken 180 weight loss. I did it all while still enjoying so many of my favorite foods. The difference is, my coach showed me how to enjoy those foods the right way. Chicken, steak, pork, lobster, they're all on the menu. Awaken 180 caters to any diet or taste profile. Vegetarian, vegan, omnivore, even flexitarian. I'm not kidding. That's a thing. They're all covered. The bottom line, if you want to lose weight fast and safe and keep it off with lifetime coaching, then make your own Bacon 180 with the Awaken 180. Do what I did, Mike Dempsey and Hacker and more than 21,000 others online at awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com.
Need or want cash? Beaches Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all, selling or pawning. Get cash on the spot at Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
This is Molly McDonald with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update, brought to you by USA Part. The Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp Bats were hot last night, opening their series against the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs with a 7-3 win. Shrimp pitcher Lou Albert Arias struck out Cody Clemens in the top of the ninth to secure the win. We'll get back at it tonight with Game 2 at 7:05. Over in Tallahassee, the Noles went in full pads for yesterday's practice. Head coach Mike Norvell spoke to media following the practice, and while he felt the physicality and explosiveness, he still feels their tempo could have been better.
The only thing I was a little disappointed with in the middle part of practice, I thought our tempo was not as good as we needed to be. But I didn't like the in-between play, push and tempo, communication, all things that we need to be able to do. It's something I've done well in the first 5 days, and I thought today was a step back in the middle of practice. But I think we finished up better there at the end.
It's 92 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
Well, we just heard Mike Norvell talk about how practice went. FSU, one of the first to get cleats on the grass, getting ready for Georgia Tech and Florida State over in Ireland. Let's talk some college football with Gary Danielson. You can easily call him the authority when it comes to breaking down college football. Welcome in, Gary. How are you?
Hey, guys. How you doing, man? It's good to talk to you.
Hey,
Getting ready for football, right?
Oh, my gosh, yeah. We appreciate your time. And I know, look, we always say it, our diehard college football fans, they love their Jags, but they love their college football. And they're broken up with different segments of, the Gators, Knowles, so on and so forth. So let's just start with what we just heard about Mike Norvell. How do you follow it, Gary? Because he said goodbye to Jordan Travis and basically a dozen drafted dudes. He's got a lot to restock, but they think they're going to be good.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the charm of college football, compared to, I played 13 years in the NFL, and you always have that carryover with veteran players that, you can kind of almost name the starting lineups from year to year to year. But the charm of college football, at least it has been so far, is that, you got to rebuild. And it's happening more and more now with the transfers and the NIL. You have to always be looking of what you've got next and rebuild. But, these icon franchises, and Florida State is one of them. They attract players from all over the country. And when you're a great leader and a great coach and you put a program together that can win, like Mike Norvell, people are going to be dialing you all the time. And I'm sure he has a staff to rebuild. And, hey, one of my when I started doing this in 1990, one of the first 3, 4, 5 games that I did was Florida State, Bobby Bowden, and took me up in the back doors. They used to go up in the ladder and out up there and watching from the sky. So Florida State's been good as long as I've been doing it, and it's nice to see them playing good football again.
Now, Gary, what do you think the implications of the college football playoffs is going to have on teams? There's no more one and done, no more single eliminations. Now these coaches can win. They can coach for 1 loss, 2 losses, and still have an opportunity to get into the playoffs.
Hey, Leon, I think that's the issue, right? College football is becoming more like the NFL that way, and that brings a lot of questions forward because college football was always built on tradition. Teams that you have to play, your rival. Florida State, Florida, Michigan, Alabama, Texas, Oklahoma. Michigan, Ohio State, the teams. Everybody's playing everybody. Will that continue to be the measuring stick as we go forward? Because now, and I just really ask you this, will the measurement going forward for Ohio State and Michigan, will it be beating each other, or will it be making the playoffs and making a run of the playoffs, more like the NFL? So things are changing quickly, and with now the expanded playoffs, I think when you had 2 teams or 4 teams, it was still conference championships mattered the most. But that could begin to take a back seat as teams position themselves to get in the playoffs. Yes, I get it. Winning your conference gives you a bye, just like the NFL. but you know this. I mean, from our NFL days, Leon. I mean, it's nice to win your conference, but if you don't make a run in the playoffs for the elite teams, you start to get questioned.
Gary, you are going back to the Big Ten where you started in college football as an
Correct.
announcer.
Yeah.
So now you're going there with CBS. CBS loses the SEC deal. What will you miss about the SEC, and what are you looking forward to getting back to the Big Ten?
So it's a complicated look at this. I don't like to answer things long, but it was a bit of a misnomer that I was just doing Big Ten games. When Brent and I were working together, I mean, I did Miami guy. I did Leon's games when I did a lot of football games. We would do, Brent and I, back in the day, Musburger and I, we would do 4 or 5 Big Ten games, 3 or 4 Pac-12 games, 3 or 4 Colorado, whatever it was called back then, the Big 12, right. Big 8, whatever it was in the middle. And we would do ACC games. We would do Miami, Florida State, Virginia Tech. But, because I played there and, because the Big Ten is the number 2 conference, I was a Big Ten guy going to the SEC. Now, the other half of it was I looked forward to going to the SEC, the fun of covering a conference. I predicted when I went there, Matt, that the SEC was going to explode. I predicted they would probably win, 3 or 4 or 5 of the next 10, 11, 12 championships. I was off by a bit. I think they won 13 out of the 18 years I did.
Come on, get it together, man.
I think it was the first 8 years I came there. They won the national championship the first 8 times. Part of that was the first of all, Urban Meyer at Florida when I went there, but also Nick Saban. I've done, I think, over 500 games. I don't know if anybody's done more live college football games than me, and I've been blessed to do it. It's been a dream come true. But the odd part of this, I don't know if you believe this, I'll bet I've done close to 100 Nick Saban games out of those 500 games.
Yeah, I believe that.
It's amazing. It really is amazing.
Is that what you'll miss, you think, from the SEC? Is those moments
all of
in
it,
Alabama?
all of it. I've been blessed. When Barry Alvarez rebuilt Wisconsin, Nestler and I were doing those games in 92, 93. So, when Penn State came into the Big Ten, Brent and I were doing Joe Pa coming into the Big Ten, right. With Penn State. When Hayden Fry rebuilt Iowa, we were doing those Iowa games. When George Perlis went to Michigan State, we were doing his run there. When Jim Trussell came to Ohio State, we were doing those games. Same thing happened in the SEC. I've had games, consequential games that meant a lot to a lot of people for the entire 35 years I've doing it. There's nothing like in the SEC, and I was blessed. I mean, we had the first pick in that conference for 18 straight years. Out of those games, we did 12 to 15 games a year. I'll bet we did not do 15 to 20 games in the 18 years that weren't of national championship consequence.
Now, Gary, I go back and watch some of those old Miami games on YouTube, and I sensed that Musburger was not a big fan of ours.
I have to always laugh at that because that's what I'm always charged with. That for a while I was a Tebow, Florida guy, then I was an Alabama guy, then I was an LSU guy, and now I'm a Georgia, whatever. Whoever the hot team is. I do remember this, though, Leon, that we did a Miami game, and after the game, Brent put on a baseball hat and some sunglasses to sneak down on the elevator. So maybe he knew what was going on the outside. That's kind of life in college football. I've never let that bother me. It's kind of the fun. Let me get back to the SEC. And the Big Ten has its charm, and it's going to be fun following. They're going to be a compelling story going forward now with the inclusion of USC and Oregon and the way Washington was in the championship. I mean, it's going to be very, very interesting. But the difference for the SEC was that rabid fan base.
Yeah.
That held everybody to such a high standard. the athletic director, how the stadium looked, how the TV was presented, what the analyst was saying, who you recruited, how many 5-stars. I mean, you guys do local radio. I mean, you could literally, in the South, especially the Southeast, you could literally do college football 365 days a year, and it's done that way. If you try to do that, in Chicago or LA or in some other areas, they keep their season in the season, but college football season in the South is year-round.
Yeah, it's something else. We're talking with Gary Danielson. You'll definitely see him full on Saturdays during your college football season. And I think what people wrestle with, Gary, is, like you said, the rivalries, those individual Saturdays where if your team goes down, you're basically done. At least you get that feeling. But I also feel like a 12-team playoff brings so many other possibilities in.
No doubt.
Yeah, you like
no
the
doubt.
direction?
I've got I'll just throw this out there, and you guys can bat it around. I'm kind of working on some things for my seminar that we have next week for CBS. As we go forward, what will be the measuring stick for these teams? And I do it this year. I've got 20 teams that really are in a position to race for 11 spots, because remember, one of the spots is going to not one of the power conferences.
Right.
So there's 11 spots, and I kind of put them into tiers. You can do it yourself. My top tier is Georgia and Ohio State. My second tier of teams that are, looking to make a run are Alabama, Notre Dame, Oregon, Penn State, and Texas. But you can follow right along of how it's measured for these teams. But my question is, will it ever get to the point where your measuring won't be versus your rival more for the playoffs as we go forward? And that could be the result of what the playoffs are going to do to college football. I don't know.
It'll make it more like the NFL, really, is what it'll do.
I don't know if I'll be in it long enough to matter going forward, but it is going to change, I think, college football. I will say this. I think I was right about this. 4 was a more dangerous number for college football playoff teams than 2 was. I thought conferences could be exposed, and the embarrassment of not being one of the 4 was very tough on conferences. I think it ultimately might have led to the demise of the Pac-10, Pac-12 as they grew into.
That's a great
and
point.
I'm much more comfortable with 12 than I was with 4.
That's a great point. That's a very
Washington,
good point.
Michigan State.
Yeah,
you
that's
can go down the line.
Yeah, if they had the 12 4-6 years ago, Gary, I don't think the
if they had the 12, the
still there,
Pac-12 would still be alive.
Yeah,
They'd still be alive.
wow. Hey, speaking of the Pac-12, now the Big Ten, I'm fascinated by Dylan Gabriel going to Oregon. I think he's going to have a huge year, and I think Oregon's going to be a tough team to beat. What are your thoughts?
No doubt, and they've got a schedule. They play at Michigan, but they get Ohio State, maybe the top game of there are some big games, and this is what's nice about it. Alabama, Wisconsin, Texas at Michigan, but Ohio State or Oregon, that's men against men there. And the Oregon team is not a finesse team anymore. Chip Kelly built them that way, and I think it was important to build it that way. He created flash, he created notoriety with that program. But now, since Mario Cristobal went there and now Dan Lanning, they have looked up and said, all right, we got there, by playing, and I'm not against the spread. I don't measure anything against anybody. We got there playing a little bit finesse-y football. But when we played the big guys, we needed more. We needed to be more like Leon. We needed to be more like Miami. We have to be able to line up every once in a while and run the ball for a couple series and take some clock off the football off the game, and you can see that Oregon looks different when they run out on the field now than they did 8 years ago. So, yes, they are a really intriguing team. But I will quiz you guys. You follow it. The most unique difference just this year between the 2 big conferences is the quarterback position. The SEC is loaded with returning quarterbacks from the previous or that played there last year. Carson Beck, Jackson Dark, Cook from Missouri, Milroe from Alabama, Quinn Ewers. I mean, they're loaded even with the guys coming up. Nussmeier and Wigman were at their schools.
Yeah.
The Big Ten 18 teams, projected starters, how many of them are transfer quarterbacks playing for the Big Ten this year?
That's a great
What's
point.
your guess?
A lot. I'm
How
going to
many?
say 9.
9. Yeah, that's what I'm jumping in on.
14 out of the 18 quarterbacks in the Big Ten will be transfers. Not all this year,
right?
But for the top level of college, I mean, the Big Ten recruits the top guys too. 14 of these schools do not have the original high school players going to be their starting quarterback this year. I think that's an amazing stat. And with Dylan Gabriel coming to Oregon, I mean, he's going to be a great player, and obviously it can be done. But it is amazing how different college football was from the days back when I played and Leon played.
Yeah, I've been joking, Gary. The Letterman jacket is a Technicolor dream coat anymore. It really is.
That's for
All right,
sure.
so real quick before you go, because Leon proudly wears that U on his chest right now, and I'm telling you, he won't admit this. I'm just trying to accuse him of being a little nervous over Miami and Florida, AUG 31. How important is that game in your mind for both programs, even though they're not where they'd like to be?
Yeah, all the marbles are on the table for the first game, aren't they? Holy cow. I mean, Napier, I mean, the Florida schedule, I know athletic director Strickland really well. I can't believe he couldn't figure out a way to get out of one of these games early in the year, because that is a schedule. I don't know who it's more important for. The way Miami looks forward to an opportunity to get into the playoffs, can they afford to lose this game to a Florida school that's still building? It's going to be really, really interesting. Graham Mertz has done a great job as a transfer quarterback for Florida. I really do like Billy Napier, but with Cam Ward going to Miami, doesn't this have to be the year that they take that next step in the ACC?
Now, Gary, I appreciate you doing the shows. Doing our games back in the day. I know when you did the telecast, we didn't lose a lot of games when you did our show.
So you're trying to get him to come to games?
Were you with Leon? Were you Steve Walsh, or who did you block for?
I blocked for Steve Walsh, Erickson, and Gino.
Oh my God, that's a good threesome right there. That's fantastic. Yeah, I love doing those games, and I hope college football doesn't change too much more. The charm is opinion.
Yeah.
Part of the charm of college football is opinion counts, and that's cool in a way. But I always felt sorry for those teams where opinion took them out of the deal. And the prime example is Florida State last year, no doubt about that.
Yeah, it's a sport of argument. I love it. Gary, thanks so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for calling, guys.
Appreciate it, Gary. Appreciate it.
It's awesome. Yeah, and I don't know whether, maybe this year we won't be able to smuggle him down, but maybe next year we can get him to the cocktail party. Just let him call in sick for that Big
Call
Ten.
in sick for the one time. He's done it many times, and you know that.
Yeah, oh, my gosh. He loves it. And when you think of certain things that you will miss, I'm sure he, like you said, he'll miss the SEC. I'm sure he still misses Vern every single day.
You know, he's like Madden,
he
by
loves
the way.
Brad.
He's an RV guy. He does not fly.
Yeah,
he lives in Naples, and he takes the RV. Well, he did. I don't know what he's going to do now. He's going to have to fly.
Oh, yeah.
I should have asked him that.
Right. This is not
He's not going around the Southeast anymore. He used to actually take the RV to Missouri.
Wow. It's XL Primetime.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealers Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers. Now, a 1010XL Summer Olympic Update. Brought to you by USAPark.net Airport Parking.
Westwood One Sports presents this special update on the 2024 Summer Games. Shinosuke Oka of Japan won gold in the men's gymnastics all-around. Zhang Boheng of China took silver, with his teammate Zhao Ruteng winning bronze. Americans Paul Judah and Frederick Richard finished 14th and 15th, respectively. France's Léon Marchand won his second gold medal of the Games with a win in the 200 fly. He'll swim for another gold in about 2 hours in the 200 breaststroke. Sarah Sjöström of Sweden took home gold in the women's 100 freestyle, just ahead of American Tori Husk, who won her third medal of the Games with the silver. The U.S. women's soccer team leads Australia 2-1 in extra time of their final group play match. Trinity Rodman and Corbin Albert have scored for the Americans. And the U.S. men's basketball team is getting set for their second game of these Olympics after beating Serbia in their opener. The U.S. will be tipping off here in just mere moments against South Sudan, a team they beat by 1 in their exhibition schedule. With this Summer Games update, I'm Ryan Radke, Westwood One Sports.
Hi, welcome to Staples.
Yeah, my daughter needs a laptop for college, but I need to watch the budget.
Well, Staples hot deals on tech are backed by a price match guarantee, so our prices won't be beat.
Great. I can't believe my baby's starting college.
She'll do great.
I know.
Oh, let's get you a great deal on a laptop.
Save big on tech for school at Staples. Now get up to $300 off select PCs. And save 24 price match guarantee valid within 14 days of purchase. Exclusions apply. For details, visit staples.com/price match.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention. Like telling you that whether you drive a little over the speed limit or a lot, you can crash just the same. You could hurt yourself or worse, others.
I'm at the scene of the collision.
And the damage you cause will be beyond repair. See, we didn't have to use crash or siren sounds after all. Speeding catches up with you.
Paid for by NHTSA.
It's back! The Big One sales event is here, and it's going on now at Arlington Toyota. Arlington has over 400 new Toyotas available. Cars, trucks, SUVs, and family vans. And that means now is the time to go big and go home in style. Plus, with every new Toyota purchase, you get Arlington's lifetime warranty and 30-day exchange program. But don't wait. The Big One sales event won't last long, so shop today. 10939 Atlantic Boulevard and online at arlingtontoyota.com.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. You know, pool design has come a long way, and if your pool is outdated, Stanley Pools specializes in bringing older pools up to date for the whole family to enjoy. That's why I did it a few years ago, and man, I love the way my pool looks now after we added travertine pavers and so much else. Stanley Pools has been serving our community since 1988, so call them today at 269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700, offices Jacksonville, Florida, and don't let the state decide your fate.
This is Greg Huntington, a.k.a. The Mangler. I'm on the winning team at Waste Management. If your business needs sustainable environmental services for waste removal and recycling collection, then you can count on the industry leader of WM to deliver results. Go to WM.com.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. What's better than beer? Cold beer. Put your company logo on a custom koozie. Check them out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all. It's all about the beautiful game. The Sporting Jack Soccer Hour. From national teams to youth soccer on the First Coast. Join Cole Pepper, Mauricio Ruiz, and Becky Burley for Soccer Talk. Monday evenings on 10:10 a.m.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and it is hot out there. You know that, Greg, but Honda has a plan for you on or off the road.
They do. There's a ton of Honda scooters, Honda mini motos, great for the beach. Also get you out in the woods with a Honda side-by-side. Plenty to do and stay cool.
Yeah, four-wheelers, and you can trick them out.
We can. From stereo systems to big builds, we do it all.
Everything's there for you to see. CyclesofJacksonville.com online or on Atlantic near Regency. Check out Cycles of Jacksonville.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, presented by FIS, is home all week at 121 Financial Ballpark. Tonight is ViStar Good is Everywhere Wednesday, featuring Dreams Come True. Tomorrow is Coors Light Thirsty Thursday with beer specials. Then it's Red Shirt Friday with fireworks, and the first 2,000 fans on Saturday get a water bottle, plus more fireworks. Baseball all week and weekend. Tickets start at just $5. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball.
AC replacement? If your AC unit is ready to go kaput, then it's time to call Florida Home AC. With over $3,000 in tax credits waiting for you on select systems, take advantage of it. Call 777-4300. Get Florida Home AC to cool you off.
If you've played sports or still lead an active life, chances are joint pain is nothing new. This is Dr. George Barry of Barry Orthopedics, and we like to be your option when it comes to taking care of your body and getting back in the game. From shoulders to elbows to hip and knee pain, Barry Orthopedics can diagnose and treat a variety of injuries that are causing you pain. We are Barry Orthopedics and online at barryorthopedics.com. With more than 30 years of experience, our team is here to care for your entire family.
Find out more at barryorthopedics.com. That's BAHRI orthopedics.com.
Good people drink good beer, and great people drink Mocama, a refined craft brewery out of Fernandina Beach, Florida. Mocama Beer Company brings sophisticated flagship beers, including Cosmico IPA and Dune Garden Lager, to the greater Jacksonville area. Whether you're hitting the water with friends or enjoying a backyard barbecue, Mocama has the perfect fare for your summer activities. Look for us wherever great beers are sold and find your Mocama.
The saying goes, the grass is greener on the other side. Well, that is actually true if your neighbor installed artificial turf. Lauren Brooks here from my friends at Sunshine Turf, a family-owned local company that will take your backyard dreams and turn them into a reality. Caleb can design anything from putting greens to pet runs, and if you have a pool, you'll definitely love maintenance-free turf around it. Visit sunshineturf.info to get a free quote today from Sunshine Turf. That's sunshineturf.info.
What's changed totally inside and out? The Kuhn Flowers massive storefront, and yes, they've totally remodeled the showroom inside too. This is Frank Frangie, and the next time you drive by, stop and smell the roses at Kuhn Flowers.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
We could have kept asking Gary Danielson 1,000 questions as far as college football is concerned, because there is such a wave of change. And at risk is that single Saturday where you feel like you've been doomed or you feel like you've been dented, but also available to a lot of other schools now is an opportunity. But the one point that he made, and this is what's at risk, is think about it, Leon, we get to 12 teams. There may be some butt stomps in round one, because when we had the Final Four, there were butt stomps in the semifinals, and for that matter, the national title game.
Well, and what he came across to me when he said about the 12-team playoffs is that the meaningful games all of a sudden may not be as meaningful.
Yeah.
Because Ohio State, Michigan, last game of the season, if they're both coming there with one loss, another loss is not going to keep them out of playoff contention.
It won't, but it might be the difference between getting one of those four buys the first week, right?
But you're right. But he's a traditionalist, kind of like me, a purist. Right. I mean, I like. I'm a national championship snob. Okay, I don't think everybody should have the opportunity to play for a national championship, because the far and few that get there, they're deserving of it. But I want more ball. So I'm a walking contradiction.
Not everybody's an All-American, bro.
I'm just saying.
Not everybody gets to play for like a legendary school. Okay?
I'm a championship snob, but a part of me wants more football, so I don't mind it.
Yeah, that part's good.
I think I've been saying this all along. Starting in like the last week of October, there's going to be games all over the college football landscape that are going to impact the playoff, and I mean deep, not like 2 or 3 games a week. There'll be 10 to 12 to 14 games a week where you're like, oh yeah. That's going to be a problem for them in the playoff.
And that's why once we get to it, XLP will be doing our CFP on a regular basis, a weekly basis, unveiling our top 12, because there's so much on the line now, and these massive ball games are not going to kick someone to the curb. Clemson and Georgia, if Clemson, Cade Klubnik struggles coming out of the gate, Carson Beck puts, 4 scores on them. Is Clemson out of the national championship picture? No, they're not. And so the way these games unfold, and there's a lot of big games early, and I love it because I do think it will mean more scheduling these types of games without feeling like you're going to be completely out of it.
Well, the only reason why I'm saying that, Joe, is that the urgency to win. I don't want that to be taken away.
I agree.
Because the college football was initially single elimination.
Yeah.
You can't lose a game.
Every game matters.
Every game matters. And I just think that as much as I like the playoffs, I just think you heard what Kirby Smart said. I'd never heard Kirby Smart say, well, we've got to find a way how to coach if we lose a game. And all the times I heard Kirby Smart as a head coach of Georgia. I've never heard them say that.
No, all right,
and that's the implications of the playoffs.
Let me just say this to you. Every game matters used to be the mantra.
Yeah.
Now that mantra could very easily be more games matter.
Okay.
More games matter late.
That's fair.
Okay, so
that's fair.
Following that, let's make this the 10-10 take, and then I'll just ask you this question. Let's do it that way.
Now, Joe C's 10-10 tape. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmaster since 68.
Every Saturday matters to Sonny's. Every Saturday. You want to make sure you get your good barbecue ready for that tailgate. Make sure you roll through any one of your area Sonny's, especially as you're planning your fall football. So those single Saturdays are up for grabs. You may not walk back to your tailgate going, damn it, we're done. We're gone. We're finished. But at the same time, I understand how that rivalry is at risk. And so I'm going to ask this question, Leon, because you said those single ones, you knew you were done in college, but you didn't feel that way in the NFL. You played your rival. You played whatever the 2 games. If you were a Steeler, you were playing inside the division. You're a Jaguar, you were playing inside the division. And you may have lost those, but you weren't completely done. I still think they all carry the same intensity and importance. That's the 10-10 take. So was it different between your college and your pro day?
It was different. I mean, you just take, for example, when I was with the Steelers in 95. In 95, we were 3-4. We had just lost to Jacksonville. We were 3-4, and we ran the table. Yeah, we ran the table. We get in the playoffs. Next thing you know, win the Super Bowl. But then, contrary to that, in 1990, I was with the Miami Hurricanes, the #1 team in the country. We lost to BYU early, all right, and then we lose to Notre Dame late, and then we're 10-2, and we're out the playoffs. I mean, we're out in national championship contention. So, I mean, we knew it that once we lost that game to Notre Dame in South Bend, we knew the championship aspirations were over.
Yeah,
but now with college football, you lose a game early and you lose someone late. 10-2, you win your conference. Next thing you know, you're the 3rd seed.
At the very least, it doesn't dispatch. A capable team that has that one not go their way, and then they can still be hot at the end.
Well, I think we have to start looking at it this way. Honestly, we have to start seeing this as you could literally be 5-2 and maybe even 4-3 in late October and go on a run and get in the playoff.
All right,
and that's if you're a fan of college football and if you're 4-3 or 5-2 in late October, you're done. Typically, now you're not.
Okay, all right, let's keep it going. You guys jump in 641-1010 because now a coach can't look at a guy and go, we lost that one. We can't lose another one. So tell us what you think. It is XL Primetime on a golf club of Southampton Wednesday.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
At Honda, we appreciate all the comparisons to other vehicles. And no matter how many times they compare their vehicles to a Honda, only a Honda is a Honda. Remember, value, quality, safety, there is no substitute. Visit your local Honda dealer now and experience the difference.
Hey sports fans, this is Hayes Carlion from MyBookie. Look, we've all been there before. A weekend trip to the casino canceled because real life came calling. Well, MyBookie's new and improved online casino is here to change the game. Dive into a truly realistic casino experience featuring the latest in slots, progressive jackpots, and live dealer action, all from the comfort of your own home. I love the live casino. The roulette is awesome. It's so easy and so much fun. Just go to MyBookie and click Live Casino at the top. You'll find live dealers ready to deal or spin just like you're at the casino. The MyBookie Casino provides a Las Vegas experience when the action is in your hands. Start at MyBookie today with a generous sign-up bonus using promo code 1010XL, and a revamped loyalty program ensures a host of exclusive VIP perks. So sign up and hit the casino with promo code 1010XL. The more you play, the more you win. Only with MyBookie.
Hidden Hills Golf Club invites you to come out and experience one of the most beautiful and unique golf courses in North Florida. Affordable golf, friendly service, and great times in the Hills Grill after play. Book your tee time, hiddenhillsgc.com. HardballCreative.com.
Save money while beautifying your home with Renewal by Anderson with their energy-efficient, custom-built replacement windows and doors. Their exclusive Fibrex product is chic, tough, easy to maintain, and twice as strong as vinyl. Right now, buy 4 windows or patio doors and get the 5th free, plus 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. Restrictions apply. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit rbafla.com for details.
License number CGC 1527613.
Hey there, Weekend Warriors. It's Matt Hayes. Sick of that slice? Tired of those 3 putts? What if I told you your handicap isn't about your swing, it's about your weight? Why not take strokes off your game by taking pounds off your frame with the Waco 180? We're talking 10 strokes off by August, getting your tour card by September, winning your first major. Year 1. Think about it. Fame, fortune, and most important, winning $5 off your buddy because you, sir, are closest to the pin. Taking strokes off your game is just about 40 pounds away at Awaken180weightloss.com. Awaken 180 does not guarantee an immediate 10 strokes off your score, receiving a tour card, or the ability to control the weather. Individual results may vary. Your newfound athleticism might cause jealousy among your foursome, leading to accusations of steroid use. Awaken is not responsible for defending your honor in the clubhouse. Awaken 180 cannot guarantee that your newfound golf prowess will lead to a sponsorship deal, but we can't not guarantee it either. Awaken 180 is not responsible for any dramatic fist pumps or unsolicited golf tips you give to strangers. Awaken 180 does not offer refunds for any lost wagers made on your improved golf game. Bet wisely, my friend. Strokes off your game by dropping pounds off your frame. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Now that's what I call high-quality H2O. If you want high-quality water throughout your home, call your local water boy. We install equipment to solve any water problem. WaterBoyJAX.com.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On July 31st, 2012, American swimmer Michael Phelps becomes the most decorated athlete in Olympic history after winning the 4x200-meter freestyle relay race at the 2012 London Games.
Hey guys, this is David Garrard, and I want to tell you about Clearwater Irrigation. They put my new sprinkler system in at my new home at Jack's Beach, and I couldn't be happier. Oh, hey, John.
What's up, Dave? You know what this means. You're going to have to sing.
Man, I can't sing.
Then you'll fit right in, buddy. Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers. Hit it, Dave.
And drainage, too.
ClearwaterJax.com.
This patriotic chant mirrors the enthusiastic efforts our American athletes have dedicated to their quest for a gold medal at this summer's Olympics in Paris. USAPark.net Airport Parking is your safe and secure parking for when you fly out of JIA. No matter where you're going, whether you're traveling to the Olympics to support our athletes or just visiting Grandma, remember to park at USAPark.net.
Hey, David again with Royal Pest Services. TAP Insulation stands for thermal, acoustic, and pest control. Keep your home cool, noise out, and pests dead. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to schedule a free inspection.
It's the coolest week to save during the summer fan sale at First Coast Lighting and Fans. Buy 1 fan, save 10%. Buy 2, save 15%. Buy 3 or more and save 20% off all fans at First Coast Lighting and Fans. Showroom near the Avenues.
Roland Reese Plumbing, one of the great stories for me because I needed them and they were there. And that's how simple it is. A plumber, you call them when you got a leak and you can't wait a week. Roland Reese came through. My water heater was just on bust, and it was leaking out, and he said, don't worry about it. We've got what it's going to take to get there stat. They were in there within a day's time, replaced a big old water heater, made sure I had warm water. I wasn't taking any cold showers. They can do it for you as well. 24/7 emergency service available where quality and experience count. Remember, log on plumbingjacksonville.com and check out Roland Reese Plumbing.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
This is Dr. Steve Crenshaw, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Tight end Luke Farrell spoke to the media this morning to address his confidence in the entirety of the tight end room so far and how the group pushes each other and is motivated by Evan Ingram.
you don't have much better of a leader and worker than Evan in the room, like in the league. I don't know if there's a tight end that's going to work harder than him. So he sets the standard. We follow that, and it's just like a lot of good energy in the room.
Farrell has high praise for his veteran leader of the group for good reason. Ingram has proved to be a true professional in both on and off the field, which explains why he is one of Trevor Lawrence's favorite targets. The tight end position is pound for pound one of the most elite position groups on the team. I'm Max Fink with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool. On 1010XL.
Having a good time today. We started out talking about Jaguars training camp, second day in pads, weaved our way into the college football world, and definitely exciting when you start to think about everything that's going on. Coming up in the next handful of weeks, including tomorrow night with the Hall of Fame game. Brian Baldinger, when he joined us earlier, he said, hey, that's where I'm headed, up to Canton, Ohio. That's right. You're going to see, well, actually, you're not going to see Caleb Williams, who was the Texans in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
The Bears.
Strauss not going to play.
Yeah. So you won't see.
might play a couple series, no?
No.
Who might play?
Stroud.
No way.
Why wouldn't Caleb play a couple series?
He's just not. They protect these guys until they feel like they can put them in a situation where they're ready. They've only been in training camp for a couple of weeks, and you're talking about a big leap. And I'm trying to remember, most Hall of Fame games do not feature that starting quarterback on either squad. At least I'd have to go back. Someone can remind us on the text line.
It's 3 preseason games, right? 3 this year. Yeah, 3. Yeah.
And so
normally the second game is when starters get most of the reps.
And I don't know whether with the Hall of Fame schedule, if they include 4. They might give them 4.
They might give them 4.
But at the same time, there's only so much work, and this goes back to our whole argument. Do they need to see game speed? Does Aaron Rodgers need to be seen in the preseason at all? I think Caleb Williams does, of course.
Yeah, I do.
But maybe at this point, they're like, let's just keep him on the shelf for right now.
Yeah, I think all rookies need to get a taste of the NFL, the game speed of it. Because, I mean, to be quite honestly, in practice, you're probably at max going 70, 65, and you're not hitting the quarterback. You're running by him. I mean, he's got to feel the blunt of the pressure of the NFL. And you can simulate all that during the practice, but it's nothing like the game.
Well, we just saw Leon Xavier Worthy got a taste of that NFL game speed.
Anybody go on social, you can find him on X, and he just gets blown up. Yeah. And by the way, it didn't take a lot to blow him up.
No. Yeah, I don't know if he got blown up, but he's like 5'10", 180.
He's 180. He's supposed to fly around like that.
Mm-hmm. I told Leon that's gonna end quickly. That's gonna be like they're watching film and Mahomes is gonna say, "Yeah, that stops right now."
Someone's gonna get fined.
Well, I mean, listen, but that's what's going to happen if he can't beat press coverage. If he can't because I mean, listen, what'd you say? He's 5'8", 5'9", 180.
He's probably like 5'10", maybe.
Yeah, maybe 5'10". If you can't beat press, that's what's going to happen. He's going to toss you around.
And look, he was okay. First off, lightning fast. And he was okay throughout his career. His stats were pretty good this last year. I think we looked him up
really good.
Around combine time, and I believe he was in that 80-catch neighborhood. But it is a whole different world getting off the line of scrimmage and having bodies on you from the jump.
So he was last year at Texas. And this is what is on ESPN, and ESPN takes directly from the school websites or the school media guides, which are infamously inflated. They had him at 5'11", 165.
Translation, 5'9", 145.
Translation, he's not the biggest cat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And if you're in the NFL, why would you give him a cushion? Why would you give him a running start? I would put hands on him all day long.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you miss, good night.
Right, because if he gets by you,
it's a wrap.
And look, Brian Thomas Jr., let's use him as an example and just kind of give us an idea of what you saw today. He is starting to get a feel for it. Now, he has a much bigger body, height-wise, but he also is he will add weight as he goes along.
Did you see that toe touchdown?
Oh, my gosh.
That was special.
Yeah,
exactly. All right, so hang on. At the combine, so this is official.
Mm-hmm.
Xavier Worthy was 5'11", 165. That's like slender.
It is.
You better believe it.
It's slender.
Well, I'll also
I'm
say
69
from
inches tall and 165, so ain't that big.
Well, I'll also say I would assume from the story that Leon told us during the break when we first watched the Xavier Worthy video that a lot of these vets are going to show that what you did in college doesn't necessarily translate in terms of easiness when you get to the pro level.
That's what we're talking about, and I don't know where it's hardest. Honestly, I don't. But I do believe a wide receiver is among the top in terms of how hard a transition it is from college to pro.
You better get your hands on him at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Because if you don't,
but where's the hardest? Where's the hardest?
Might be a DB, bro.
Okay, so you'd say him more than
What about O-line?
O-line is there. That would be my top three. O-line.
Like 2 tackles?
Quarterback too, bro. Quarterback in this league. Yeah,
they're all hard.
That's top 3.
Like, what's the easiest?
Running back.
Easiest?
Other than kicker and punter.
Yeah.
Easiest was probably.
Sorry, Scobie.
Yeah. Shoot, the easiest is D-line, D-tackle.
Yeah, you're just getting.
Right? Yeah, all you're doing is getting in position and go. Yeah.
I say running back.
Running back, yeah.
You got to pick up the blitz, and that's a little extra challenge. But I think if you're good, you're good.
Mm-hmm.
And so many of these guys have been able to come in for the most part because they're all going to get hit. They've all taken abuse. Guys can get to you faster, that's for sure. Etienne figured that out his first year. Remember when he didn't try and get skinny a couple times and got blown?
Oh, yeah.
Dropped the ball. Yeah.
So, but I just feel like any of these guys, press coverage and the talent on the defensive side, closing gaps and staying on them. Like, think of the contested catches that we have seen in practice.
Yeah.
And how, if you're elite in college, you don't have that many contested catches. You're usually going up and getting it by yourself.
Yeah, well, because the windows are way different here.
Oh, my God.
They're way tighter. Yeah, by the way, you said D lineman because you and D lineman don't mix. Because they jaw all the time.
I have a profound affection for them.
Well, Leon, didn't you talk about during the break, you were out there against the D lineman as a rookie, and, one of the D linemen said, like, hey, I understand that you were a great football player in college and you were able to knock a lot of guys to the ground, but we're D linemen over here. We're just not going to just fall to the ground after the first hit.
Well, it wasn't.
They didn't say that.
It wasn't that long. Okay. It wasn't that long, and it wasn't that nice.
It's probably 4 words.
It was actually my welcome to the NFL moment was when I was with the Steelers, and I was playing right guard, and I put up in the hole, and Greg Lloyd came up in the hole at the same time, and I hit Greg Lloyd. He hit me. We kind of bounced back, and I looked at him because back in the day in college, if I gave you the funk, you went down. You went down, and this man did not go down. And Greg Lloyd looked at me and said, "What the hell you looking at, Rook?" He said, "Get your ass back in the huddle." I was like, "All right."
The funk didn't work.
The funk didn't work. Well, I had a lot of work to do. Funk didn't work.
I got to get some more moves.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and really that's it. And that's what we're trying to figure out. Which of these guys is going to be able to do that? Brian Thomas Jr. is going to have his work cut out for him, just like every other rookie. We're already seeing Roman Wilson go down with an injury up in Pittsburgh. You have a handful of other guys. We're going to see what Rome Odunze can do. I don't know whether
he's looked good, by the way. He's looked really good.
I like him a lot.
Yeah.
I think we're talking about a cerebral cat, really, really smart.
Go up and get a ball, get a 50-50 ball. Yeah, he's looked really, really good.
And so we'll see how much they put him in this game tomorrow night. How many of the other guys I'll get to see action.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw that, but they also paid DJ Moore today.
Yeah, DJ Moore got him a nice big contract.
Very underrated.
Yeah, bro. Compliments of Mr. Rosenhaus. Mr. Rosenhaus got him paid.
Yeah, it's so funny because when I saw the number, I'm thinking to myself, DJ Moore, does he deserve that type of cake?
He's making them out about $27 million a year.
Yeah,
they can protect him, bro.
Yeah,
they're gonna.
I don't know if is it that high.
Yeah, it's about $27 million a year.
All right, I was looking back at some of these numbers. Middle of some of the NFL notes I made was Gene Fournette's tweet today that said that Trevor looked like ASS. So that just made me laugh. I had to keep a picture of that.
What did he say? It was ass over what?
Well, it was just, I think it might have been a typo or something, but it was.
Was it?
It was, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it was it was a typo. So I think it was like
it was
Trevor Lawrence made a pass, that Gabe Davis in tight coverage, and it said Trevor Lawrence arse to Gabe Davis in tight coverage.
Yeah. He was so, but the neat little play on words, it was It was butt over middle. And I'm not – I love it. Gene was trying to get rid of it. But anyway, it was there. So the non-quarterbacks that are getting paid a bunch, DJ Moore is now among them. And would you classify him in that category, Leon?
As elite wide receiver?
Yeah.
He's pretty close, man.
He's
he wouldn't be top 10. He wouldn't be maybe top 15, maybe top 17.
Okay, so
probably not top 10. He's close though, man.
Well, you give him 14, somewhere like that.
He's been very productive.
Oh, he's very productive. Yeah.
Well, remember,
it's hard to argue that.
Okay, but we sit here and say he's been very productive. They had to bring him in to make sure that Justin Fields was either we can't give up on him or we got to get rid of him. And DJ Moore was able to at least flourish and flash at times and make plays for them, but there just weren't enough plays in the passing game that were being made.
I mean, 14.2 yards a catch, 14.1, 12.4, 18.1, 14.3.
Those
are good numbers, man.
Yeah, they're not bad, but one team passed and said we're going to let him go, and then the other team got him.
He's had 4,000-yard seasons in his six years in the league.
Look, when we talk about really good, Mike Evans is going for Jerry Rice's record in terms of the number of 1,000-yard seasons. So that's good. That's just not in that top 10 category we're talking about.
Not elite, but very, very good.
Yeah, and so he's going to help Caleb. There's no question about that.
That's what I'm saying. If they can protect, I mean, they've got him, they've got Rome, they've got Komet. DeAndre Swift's a good little player. I mean,
DeAndre Swift's
can be
on
a little dangerous.
DeAndre Swift's on his third team.
Yeah. But also been a pretty much productive guy.
Been a decent player, but he's been moved.
But the question mark is up front, bro. The defense was a top 10 defense last year.
They were good too.
They were good down the stretch, but can you block? Can you run? Can you protect? Yes. Can you convert on third downs? Can you move the chains? Can you control time of possession? All those things want to factor in, and that's the O-line.
Yeah.
That is the O-line.
Caleb was running for his life a little bit at times in his college career.
He should be used to it then.
He will really be running for his life. All right, let's run for our lives before we get out of here.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
Well, my take for today is, we got football tomorrow. Matt Hayes and Joe Cowart. We got the Hall of Fame game. You remember a couple of months ago how long we waited and how much we begged and wanted football, and now it's right around the corner. It's such a beautiful thing, is it not? I may shed a tear. I'm so happy that football is back.
You're going to be like, what else is on?
No, I'm so happy football is back. That's my take.
Yeah.
My takeaway is almost like a preview for XLP tomorrow. I mean, they're fighting a little bit in camp.
Yeah.
There's some punches thrown today by Mason Smith and Walker Little. We want to get into that tomorrow. I think it's actually a good thing. I like the fact that they're fighting a little bit.
They got to get feisty. They do need to kind of claim their territory and turf, and that part's good. That's the way O versus D should be. My takeaway is I saw Gabe Davis a little bit more than I like. We didn't really get to see him during OTAs and minicamp because of the PCL tear, but the little by little that we were seeing more and more of him, I'm seeing that yards per catch average, which was top 3 in the NFL. So that I like. And he can just be one more layer of what they've got offensively. All right, we are done. We say thanks to the Golf Club of Southampton. Don't forget, 287 play. You can get on the tee sheet. Head on out this afternoon, 9 after 5. You always get a bunch of guys out there hanging out, having a good time. Ladies play as well. Everybody's welcome. So definitely come on out. 287 play, 9-hole game, food, some prizes, and then any other time you want to play, head on out. Don't forget Thursday night trivia and Friday night music on the patio. We are done. Joe C., Matt Hayes, Big Searcy, and RJ. We got the Francis Show coming up.
Everyone wants to doubt